Welcome to another episode of Nourish the Mind, where this program speaks about the mind, the body, and the spirit, that all three bring us closer into alignment. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and I hope that you will stay. And if you have been with me for a while, guys, thank you so much for your continuous support. On this week's topic, we're going to talk about shifting the mindset. Slow down, hold on, take a breath. So we're talking about shifting the mindset, which entails having a new personality. It's shedding layers of you that doesn't support you anymore. It's like changing furniture, like changing out your wardrobe or clearing out that drawer, throwing away those old stuff that no longer support you. You no longer have use for them. You did have use for them at that point in time where you were, but now you're looking towards change. You want to change a look, a change a style, a change a fashion, whatever it is to you. But changing the mindset, and this is what we're speaking on and focusing on, the mindset requires shedding parts of you that no longer serves you. And sometimes it's gonna involve you unfriending certain people. It's hard, but it's a part of the process. It's like you stepping away from that old personality, that old being, and walking a new path. And sometimes that path can be a very lonely path. And I spoke about the quiet time. I spoke about being prepared in those moments of alone time. Sometimes that path can be a temporary, lonely, quiet path, but oftentimes it is the path that we need to take in order to become that new personality, which is changing from one mindset, which is a mindset shift, into a new mindset shift. And that process takes a lot of time. I'm going to stress it. It takes a lot of time working on oneself. Yes, not on anybody else's self, working on your own self. It takes a lot of reflection on where you were, where you are, and where you want to be. It takes a lot of awareness now of the person that you're becoming. The person that I am becoming now, is this a person that I want to be around? Is this a person that is going to support me on the road that I am going, or the path that I'm taking? Is this a person that I can look up to? Is this a person that is accountable? Is this a person that is dignified? Is this a person worth following? I mean, it's like you're stepping out of yourself and you're inspecting yourself. Examine. That's the word I'm looking for. You're starting now to examine yourself. You're taking away things that no longer support you, cultivating more peace, things that is going to align with your new value, with that new path, with you becoming that new personality, with you shifting that mindset now. You know, you want more of that thing and less of that old pattern or that old way of being, or those friends that drew you back into negativity or non-progressive ways, or just have you out there in limbo. It's like now the path is becoming a little bit more clear, but it takes a lot more work to get there. If that's making any sense. It's a lot of learning, guys. Learning, and it takes a lot of unlearning. And what I mean by that is that there's gonna be a lot of things, a lot of programmings, and I keep on talking about programming, a lot of thoughts, a lot of actions that is of that old person, that old personality would do those things in a heartbeat, would, wrapped up in those things in a heartbeat. But the new person, the new version of you now requires discipline. It requires more focus. It requires confidence. It requires more humility. It requires more grace. It requires more space. And in those moments, when you find yourself moving towards that moment, when it becomes a struggle, and for those who have been there, like having a mindset shift, they can understand fully what I'm talking about. and those that are looking to have that mindset shift, it's a struggle. It's a struggle not to watch your favorite TV shows, that series that will keep you sitting there for like 5, 6 hours and keep going and going and going. It's a struggle not to do that. It's a struggle not to engage in habits that you have, and whatever the habit is to you that somehow is not supporting your growth. We know when the mindset shift starts to come, it is a struggle. It's like constantly having to make little decisions, but at the same time, they're hard decisions. They're like small increments each time that is going to build up over time. That building up over time can flow in the direction that you want to go, or that building up over time can flow into a direction that takes you down the path of destruction. So destruction and righteousness, it's a thin line, and it's a line that you make a lot of choices. Sometimes some hard choices. It's like denying the self, that internal self, that little child within that needs discipline and focus. It's like you have to be disciplining that inner self each time, saying, oh no, we're not gonna go there. We are not gonna go there. And that part of you scream, why? I wanna go there, I wanna go there. And you find yourself like in a little tug of war, reasoning out or explaining out things until, eventually you come to a decision either way. And based on the decision that's made, that can bring you backward or it can bring you forward. And the mindset shift, that's when it slowly starts to emerge by making little decisions towards that new self. And guys, I'm just leveling with you. It takes work. It takes work with intent. It takes disciplining oneself, and discipline is not easy. I mean, it's easier to discipline somebody. It's easier to hold somebody else responsible. It's easier to pass the blame on somebody. It's easier to sit down when you need to stand up. All these things are so easy to do, but it's the hard things that you're going to do in that moment, like taking accountability, calling yourself out. Don't wait until anybody to call you out. I am wrong. I did this and I am wrong. I said this and I am wrong. And let it come from a place that is genuine, a place that is true, and a place that understanding what that means. Accountable each time, demanding better from you. I keep saying this and I keep echoing it, that it's easier for people that has a support system. It's easier for people that has that mentorship, those people in their corners. But it's much harder for a person that is navigating alone, like this lone soldier, going through life. A lot of times you have to fall a lot of time, and each time you fall, it's not that you're staying down, it's you falling to get up, and each time when you get up a little stronger each time. And sometimes our fall, I believe sometimes is our fall is God's way disciplining us, in a sense where he's pulling us back. He wants us to step back. He wants us to be humble in this moment. And we can fall from grace in so many different ways. We can fall from grace by losing a great job that we think that it was so wonderful, and we were just engulfed in that job. We can fall from grace, have to move from one location to the other. We can fall from grace with a person passing or somebody leaving us, and in those space and those moments, it's like a fight, like what to do next. And in those moments when we fall from grace and we get that space and that time, that's God's way of disciplining us in some way, of saying, take the time out now to reflect. Take the time out now to make better decision. Take the time out now to change. And I can go a little further and speak about people, some people in the prison system, and they can, commit a crime, and a crime that they commit, oftentimes it's not coming from an impulsive place. It's coming from something that they have done little by little by little, by cultivating some bad habits over time. Maybe they took something small, maybe they cheat somebody out of something down there, maybe they abuse somebody here, and over time those habits spiral into something big, and then they find themselves probably behind bars, but not doing like a whole lot of time that's gonna take all their life, but doing a time where they find themselves alone. And a lot of times when people find themselves alone, we think that we are being punished, and we don't understand that that's the time, discipline, that space to be disciplined, to cultivate a new mindset, to have a new mindset shift, to reflect. And I talk about reflection, guys. Reflection is so, 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 so important. I can't stress it enough. I have to do a lot of reflection in my own personal life, coming from my own journey and where I'm at right now and where I intend on going. It takes a lot of introspection. It takes a lot of stepping out of oneself and examine yourself. Do I like this person? Is this a person that I want to follow? Or is this a person that is doing what they're supposed to do? You have to step away, and you have to sit down, and you have to make hard decisions. And sometimes you fight with yourself. That's you disciplining yourself in those moments, because you want to be a new creation. You want to operate from a place of divine order and a place of wholeness. And I can tell you that having a mindset shift, I can say, it requires us to have this personal relationship with our Savior, Jesus Christ. For some, people will say the universe, some people will say universal intelligence, some people have all these titles, but we can agree on one thing, but that there is a superior being. There's a higher than all of us creator, and he created creation itself, which includes the land, the sea, the animals, human beings, all of the wonders of the world, that come together. It's the superior being. Whatever title we put on him, it is important for us to have that relationship. Because when we have that relationship, it's like us having this internal compass. It's like start to making sense of things that doesn't make sense. And in a sense, he gives you a direction when you're out there lost in the world, and you're just a wanderer to what is going on, and you don't know what the right decisions are, and you're easily pulled here and there and everywhere, and you don't even have a mind of your own, and you take on traits of other people in no time, instead of being aware of their traits and know that, oh, that's something that I don't want to lean into. When we have this relationship, this intimate relationship with him, to understand a lot of things, and that's us starting to take on a new path, and that is us actually getting that purpose. If we go through life and just living and just existing, then it's like sometimes we just living a meaningless life. But when we have that intimate relationship with our Savior, and we understand that there is more than what meets the eyes, and we understand that if he's a supreme creator and we were created in his image, that also means that we have the ability to create. We have the ability to shift our mindset. We have the ability to change things about ourselves. You know, we have the ability to cultivate and want better and get better because we acknowledge who we are from. And I talk about this previous videos that we can look at that superior being or that divine creator as a caring parent, you know, caring parent. I'm stressing it, caring parent. So that sets the tone for the type of parent that I'm talking about. A caring parent doesn't only want to see their young ones or their kids survive, they also want to see them thrive. They want to see them become the best of what they can be. They want to see them living the best life. They want to see them happy. They want to see them in joy and abundance. They want all the things that is good for them. That is a caring parent. And that caring parent will instill some level of discipline. That caring parent will out, you know, that caring parent is gonna do things to steer us into the direction that we need to go into, because that caring parent desire the best for you. All right, that's it, guys. I'm going to leave it there, and I hope somebody learned something. I hope somebody got something from this video. That's my desire, you know, to share what I know from the little that I know, and I'm still learning. And you know, the more we learn is the better we are in terms of flowing and growing into the path which is right for us. So until next time, I'll say peace and love.